am here today at Kalen Sports in Romeoville to take you through some Flyers hockey.
Puck is dropped and we are underway.
We're going to compete and we're going to bat. We have to compete all three periods.
Flyers came out hot. The Flyers to an early lead. Zone shot, he scores!
The culture that they have there is pretty special.
Really happy to be back and excited for a season of had of great hockey.
Shot, rebound, scores!
They're creating their own energy. The energy has totally changed.
Batting that puck out of the air. Big shot, another shot. He goes upstairs. The whole building is buzzing. And a big save! 4-inch shot, rebound, scores! Oh my goodness, what a play!
We want to play as a unit.
You can see the joy and excitement on the faces of the Flyers players. We're equally as excited here in the broadcast booth.
Great hockey being played
At Camden this weekend.
What a goal for the Lewis Flyers!
Hello and welcome to Inwood Ice Center in Joliet, Illinois. My name is Logan Kappa. I'm here today to take you through the game between the Lewis Flyers and the Purdue Northwest Pride. It was a humdinger of a matchup last night at the Cube in Indiana. Pride ended up taking a 5-2 victory away from that. It's a pretty close game, though. Coach Jim Swire told me in the parking lot as I got here that they didn't think it should have been a 5-2 game. They played really well. I watched the whole thing last night. It was really, really good. Tonight is Flyers Check Cancer night. That's why we're here at a home away from home game in Joliet, away from our usual rink at Kalen Sports in Romeoville. We're doing it in conjunction with the Joliet Jaguars Youth Organization, and we're raising money all weekend long for the Wellness House. I'll tell you more about them in just a couple minutes, but going back to yesterday, the really, really great game between these two clubs. Last year, the Flyers were absolutely blown out of the water by the Pride. That was a 1-6 loss and a 10-1 loss last year in Romeoville. So a lot stronger team fielded this year by the Lewis Flyers and had a really competitive hockey game yesterday against the Pride. Goals from Stumpf and Wellesley yesterday for the Lewis Flyers. Those will be two players to watch. Logan Stumpf has been having a really, really great season this year. He's been playing on a line with a couple other guys who have been having some of the best seasons of their career. So those are two players that I like to watch for the Lewis Flyers this evening. Colin Conzen for the Purdue Northwest Pride. He had 2 goals against the Flyers last year in those 2 series, and they had a goal yesterday at the Cube in Indiana. So for the Purdue Northwest Pride, that will be a player to watch. The Leduc, Alberta, Canada native will be having a great time for the Purdue Northwest Pride. Their power play this year will be something else for the Flyers to take a look at. Not very successful on the power play, just about 6% conversion rate for the Pride there. And their penalty kill, however, has been really, really strong. Have been working a lot on special teams in practice, the Flyers have, so they'll look to take advantage of that. However, because the Pride penalty kill is so strong, they have 3 penalty kill goals, 3 shorthanded goals on the season thus far, and that was something that back earlier in the week, head coach of Flyers hockey, Jim Swire, told me about. He said that was something they're going to be watching all series long. They held them at bay yesterday, but again, that'll be a key point for the Lewis Flyers this evening. So as I mentioned earlier, it is Flyers Check Cancer night here against the Pride, and we talked a little bit about it on the podcast, the Lewis Hockey Podcast. We had Scotty Ernstling on this weekend, and he told us all about some of his recent success, but we also talked about the Flyers Check Cancer night in collaboration with the Joliet Jaguars. So this weekend, the Flyers and the Joliet Jaguars team up for Flyers Check Cancer, supporting the Wellness House, an organization that has been helping people live with cancer since 1990. The Wellness House provides exercise classes, nutrition programs, support group, and all sorts of stuff for people that are living with the terrible disease of cancer, all free of charge, of course, to all of these people. So they're trying to give families the whole person care that they need, along with some of their health and medical concerns. So join us this weekend here at Inwood. It's a beautiful rink for a home-and-home game between the Flyers and the Purdue Northwest Pride. We'll see period number 1 in about 15 minutes. You're watching Flyers hockey right here on the Lewis University Television Network.
We're with Bridget, whose husband won't be home for months and whose daughter is due any day. We're with Mike, who's leaving home to protect his family and yours. We're with all service members and their families who need community, connection, and maybe a bit of magic. Are you with them? Learn more at uso.org today. We're with Liam after his 4th military move, when being new is starting to get old. We're with Tara during the holidays, when she misses home the most. We're with all service members and their families who need connection, comfort, and a home away from home. Are you with them? Learn more at uso.org today.
You're looking for your opportunity to make a difference that impacts your world for the better. And no one is better equipped to help you do that than Lewis University. With 37 graduate degree and certificate programs, we can help you develop the skills required to maximize your performance and value in today's workforce. Classes meet in 8-week sessions, 100% online, on campus, or a mix of both designed for working adults. Your time is now. Transform your skills and potential with a graduate degree from Lewis University.
What do you think you're doing, Kevin?
Was just gonna drive home.
There are several warning signs present that you shouldn't be driving.
Like hearing voices?
Like your text-to-emoji ratio?
Oh man, the selfies.
Selfie, nailed it.
We all have warning signs that let us know that we're probably not okay to drive. Mine is pretending to be your subconscious.
Craig, come on man, let's split a ride home.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Dad. Happy birthday to you.
What are you gonna wish for, Grandpa?
Don't just wish you had taken care of your hearing loss. Take action today. Visit actnow.onhearing.com to learn the signs and find an ACHA certified audiologist near you.
I'm originally from Janesville, Wisconsin. I kind of grew up by an airport, and in that time, pretty much I fell in love with airplanes. They were always flying over my house and everything. I got my private pilot's license the beginning of my sophomore year, and then after that I got my instrument rating first semester of my junior year, and right now I'm working on my commercial license. I do want to start with corporate aviation. I think it would kind of be cool to get a perspective in both worlds. My end game is airlines eventually. Lewis has kind of kept my passion alive for aviation just because of how frequently we fly. We fly 2 to 3 times a week, which is a lot more than other flight schools where you don't even start flying until your junior year. I'm definitely happy I chose Lewis, especially with the airport being right on campus. I think it's honestly really helpful. The people here that I've met, I've loved pretty much everything about Lewis.
This is the story of Lewis University, located 35 miles southwest of Chicago. Founded in 1932 with a focus on aviation technology, Lewis is a Catholic and Lasallian university that welcomes students of all faiths and cultures. Your understanding of diverse cultures will help you to succeed in the global workplace. At Lewis, our faculty walk side by side with our students, helping them apply what they learn in the classroom to real life. In law enforcement, nursing, aviation, business, the sciences, teaching, and the arts, all making a difference. Our students have purpose in learning. They're problem solvers, thinkers, doers. Upon graduation, Lewis students are prepared to create better communities, communities that universally welcome, support, and encourage all to create a better world. Now it is your turn. How will you impact our world? Apply at lewisu.edu.
Every 2 seconds, a hospital patient needs a life-saving blood transfusion. Every 2 seconds, there's an urgent need for blood donation. Every second matters. In an emergency, doctors may face impossible choices. Who gets blood and who must wait? Will you roll up a sleeve and give? Because of you, life doesn't stop. Donate blood. Make your appointment today at Vitalant.org.
Hello, I'm Will Jimeno. I'm a retired Port Authority police detective and a 9/11 survivor. For 13 hours, I was buried under the rubble of the World Trade Center. I was rescued thanks to brave people who were willing to put their own lives on the line to save mine. For 9/11 this year, a National Day of Service, I'll be paying it forward by taking time to help others. Please join me by doing your own good deed that day. Visit 911day.org to learn more.
Providing students with the skills and qualities needed to be successful, the Lewis University Radio and Television Broadcasting Department prepares students for high-level performance in their endeavors. The broadcasting professors supply students with numerous chances outside of the classroom to sharpen their tools and get a taste of the real world of broadcasting.
I just thought it was really interesting and I want to go into sports media. Everyone's really welcoming, even if you have no experience. Like, you will be uncomfortable at the beginning, like I was, but once you start into it, you'll be more comfortable as your teachers explain everything.
Technical directing, editing, producing, and anchoring are just some of the countless broadcasting roles students can get involved with during their first week in the program. From being on the air to producing behind the scenes, students will acquire valuable life skills in addition to what they learned in broadcasting. All majors are welcome, and to get started, visit lewisu.edu/admissions so you can make a difference and take your talents to the next level.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome inside Inwood Ice Arena in beautiful Joliet, Illinois. My name is Logan Kapp. I'm here today to take you through the game between the visiting Purdue Northwest Pride and the Lewis University Flyers in this home away from home game at Inwood Ice Center. And we're used to our regular setting in Romeoville at Kalen Sports, but because this Flyers Check Cancer Night is done in collaboration with the local youth organization Joliet Jaguars, that's why we're here at Inwood, as well as the 2025 ACHA Chicago Classic is going on in Romeoville with some of the best college teams from all over the country. And so all the sheets at Kalen are taken up, and that is why we are home away from home here as we get set to go. Starting goaltenders for the Lewis Flyers to my right-hand side. The big man Sam Zaget is in net, already making big stops. He played last night in the Flyers 5-2 loss over at the Cube in Indiana. So it was a lot of work went into this event tonight, and we're glad to be here, and we're glad that you're tuning in for some Flyers hockey. Started to tell you about the starting goaltenders. To my left, it looks like that's Luka Kostulovic in net for the Pride. Or Elias Johansson, I actually do believe, the former Blue Ox of the USPHL. We'll get the look. And we're already playing again. Brian Goot laying down a big shoulder in the far side corner, Pride end. In his second year as Flyers captain, he's really been doing a great job on the defensive side of things. As that one gets tipped in, it's Abram behind the net. Got it up to Logan Pickens on the near side wall, but it was kept in by Anderson. The Pride have it offensive zone. Quick shot hit the side of the goal and was deflected up into the protective netting. That causes a stoppage of play. .49 left to go in this first period, and Flyers are looking to bounce back from the tough loss yesterday. It was a relatively even game throughout the course of that one. It was 2-3 late into the third period, and the Pride scored a couple late goals, but overall it was pretty even. And Anderson on the point. A quick snapshot is patted into the corner by Zagat. A rebound is corralled by Ernsting, who's buzzing up the right wing wall. Dances through one. Ernsting got it. Centering pass. And Logan Pickens could not put it into the wide open net. An excellent offensive zone move by Ernsting created an opportunity for Pickens in front of the net. And a really great chance for the Flyers here early in the first period. Logan Pickens, we saw that same position. He scored a goal like that last week against the DePaul Blue Demons. Does a great job putting himself in perfect position to receive a pass from Scotty Ernsting. And we had Josh David on the headset with us last week, with me anyway, and he told us that when Scotty Ernsting's on the ice, you never know when you're going to get the puck, but being the magic man, he does some magical things and can get that puck over to anybody, anywhere on the ice. An excellent stick from Steck kept that puck in, and in the midst of a line change, the Pride control. Santa Maria will begin the rush, and it gets lofted all the way down, and that'll allow the Pride to finish their line change. A turnover's forced in the offensive zone. And now it could not be found by David and gets sent back in. Mike Steck, former Sioux Eagle, sent it up the far side wall, but it was slapped on goal and met with a big pad save from Zagat.
in the far side corner. That was Mitchell who had his stick lifted by Fronte, and it was pitchforked all the way down the length of the ice for an icing call. 3:30 left in this first period, or 17-16 left to go in the first. We're all tied up, 0 goals aside. Face-off to Hughes, it gets left wing side. Is won and controlled by the Pride. That was Kazan who came moving in. He was my player to watch for the Purdue Northwest Pride this hockey game. Had 2 goals against the Flyers last year in their series and added another one yesterday. A quick shot from the far side dot was sent wide, but it was kept in on the point. That was Benke, who will score right in tight. The Pride are off to an early lead here in Romeoville. I believe that was Colin Kazan, who I was just talking about, put that one in. He led the team through the line, and here, not even 5 minutes into this hockey game, the Pride are up by 1. That post-goal face-off was controlled by the Pride. It's Anderson in his own zone, and it was gloved down by Shaw in the neutral zone. He's moving in. It goes across. A drag move and a shot is fought off by Zagat, who had to make a second stop in the process. And now it's Goot. Flings it across the rink and all the way down for an icing call. Flyers arguing that someone touched it in the neutral zone. You see Jim Swoyer there fired up on the bench. And either way, we'll see a face-off in the Flyers zone. That was won back by Flynn O'Neill. He had a goal yesterday in the first period for the Pride. Sent around the net by Nate Cheney. Couldn't get it past the stick of Flynn O'Neill, and so he'll slow it down in the neutral zone. Bokal will chop it into the Flyers zone and go off for a line change, and Abram turned the puck over behind the net, but is able to recover. And now it's Logan Stumpf. One of the goal scorers for the Flyers yesterday. And now it's Ernsting. Buzzing up the left wing wall, will blow by everybody. Ernsting still got it, and he's taken down in the slot. And another quality chance is made by the Magic Man, but he was unable to convert. Behind his own net is Dave Anderson. His pass was thwarted by Dominic Grigori, who had a really great game last weekend against the DePaul Blue Demons in Romeoville. Scored his first Division II goal and was really playing well on both sides of the puck. Made some really great defensive plays. Isn't afraid to throw his weight around and make some big hits. And he got the look again for Jim Swoyer. On the far side wall, a rink-wide pass will send Ott into the Flyers zone. He had Grigori right on him, and the long-range shot was easily handled by Zagat. Here's Mike Steck. Slaps it up the near side wall to Weigel, who had his first ACHA goal yesterday for the Pride. The graduate of Sandburg High School. Must have been familiar with Coach Chelios or Seamock rather, of the Purdue Northwest Pride. He was used to coach at Sandburg High School, so one has to think Weigel followed him over. It's Alex Fronte, couldn't force it out. A shot was deflected in the slot, but Zagat was able to make that save. And now it's Pramack. We'll just send it in. David in on the forecheck will find it. Controls and tried a centering pass to Pramack, but it was broken up. And it gets sauced out by the Pride. Pramack coming back, got it, but was taken down there by Devin Weigel, and that kind of shut that play down. 13:42 left in this first period. The Pride are up by 1. Turnovers forced by JT Verdino in the offensive zone. Great stick from Jake Wilninski. He's in behind everybody. Wilninski's got it. Power move to the middle, and the save is made by Johansson. And another quality chance for the Flyers. Wilninski's coming off a great weekend last weekend against DePaul. He had a goal yesterday as well for the Flyers. And that was his 6th goal on the year yesterday. That faceoff is won by Ernsting into the corner, and he will pick it up. A cross-ice pass sends Pickens into the zone. The pass was out of his reach, and Dan Johnson kept it in there. Here's Ernsting. Looks for Pickens in the slot. One-timer was not connected by Pickens, and it gets chopped up into the netting. .46 left in this first period. Ernsting still on the ice. Will win it forward and tries to throw it on goal, but it met the stick of Adam Naprovic, and the Flyers again force a turnover in the offensive zone. Weigel battles away with Ernsting, but Weigel was the winner there, and Pickens reverses it to the far side. Grigori moves in and pokes it down low, and the Stumpf had it for a moment, but threw it away in the middle of the ice. With speed the other way is Mitchell, and his shot is right to the catching glove of Zagat, who will hold on. Face off to his right wing side. Alex Fronte will move in to take it. And we'll try again. Colin Cousin back on the ice. Former Knight of the KIJHL. I wonder if he ended up playing against Josh David or Caleb Pramack, two of the Canadian junior alums on the Lewis Flyers. And that one gets backhanded in. Here's Pramack now. Forced a turnover, tries a pass. It got deflected by Fronte. Pramack found it, and the Flyers score! Caleb Pramack found it at the top of the crease and put it in to tie this one up. 11:43 left to go in period one. That one off the draw will be sent the length of the ice. Abram will control, and now it's Wilninski on the half wall. He's crunched off the puck. And now the Pride control in the offensive zone. Here's Verdino. Had it taken away by Abram. And his pass will just give it right away in the middle of the ice. That was Adam Naprovic who sent that one in, the former Wausau Cyclone of the NA3HL, and Brian Goot comes in and cleans house. A huge body check is thrown down there by the Flyers captain. He's moved into that role quite nicely for this Lewis Flyers team. They haven't been known as a particularly physical team ever in my tenure here with the Flyers, but obviously Brian Goot is trying to change that around. Face off to the left wing side of Zagat is one back to Anderson, who will slap it on goal, and it's fought off by Zagat. And the rebound was cleared out by Dominic Grigori. Here's Ernsting. Centering pass will feed Pickens into the zone, but it will squirt back to Ernsting. Backhand pass to Stump. Rifles one on goal, and the save was made by Elias Johansson. Here's Stump. Given a big shoulder by Cheney. And now the Pride moving back the other way. The pass was fanned on by Gabe Santamaria, but he's got it now, Flyers zone. Former New Jersey 87 tried a shot, but it was not successful, and then Cheney gave it right to Zagat to freeze it. 9:54 left in period one, just over the halfway point in period one. The Flyers bouncing right back after an early goal from Colin Kozin. And here's the goal scorer, Premek, into the zone, and the Flyers were offsides. Fronte out there to take this face off. We got a chance to talk to him on the Lewis Hockey Podcast last week, and he's been having a couple really great games for the Lewis Flyers. Sits second in points currently for this hockey team, and this whole line really of Josh David, Caleb Premek, and Alex Fronte has been doing wonders for the Flyers on the offensive side of things. They forced a turnover right there. Here's David, tries to feed it over to, actually that was David. Fronte was the one with the puck. And now it's Premek. Left it for Nail on the point, who gave it to Abram near side. He had Ott right on him, so he had to make a quick play down low. Premek now below the goal line. Has Mitchell right on him, and the Pride end up coming away with it. Here's Weigel. Left it for Ott, who will skate it in over the Flyer line. On his forehand has a shot that hit the shin pad of Abram and deflects into the near side corner. Brian Goot slaps it over the line just barely, and Dave Anderson couldn't touch it. Now Goot's got it in over the Pride line. His shot went off a stick of McCraig and into the protective netting, causing a stoppage of play. 8:49 now left in the first period. It is Johansson in net, the Swede. The former Blue Ox in the USPHL Premier League. Dan Johnson fanned on it, but was able to recover. A shot was deflected out in front by Benke. But the Flyers are able to recover. Goot with a touch pass will find Johnson, but stumbling, he wasn't able to get it out of the zone. And now Grigori working hard on the defensive end. Trying to give it to Ulmer behind the net, who will poke it up the near side wall. And now Joe Anderson on the point, and through traffic, Zagat was able to track it. And an excellent save there from the Flyers netminder. Ernsting back on the ice. We'll square up for this one to the left wing side of Sam Zagat. And that's Moon, who was just tossed out of the face-off. RJ Shaw will come in and take it. He had a goal yesterday. Save the point shot by Zagat and kind of fumbled the rebound, but Ernsting skates away with it. Stumpf, a couple quick stick handles, throws it right on goal, and it was pushed aside by Johansson. Here now is Moon. Tried a centering pass to Shaw, but right on him was Logan Pickens to lift his stick. And it gets cycled around near side corner. Steck had a big body check on the near side corner on JT Verdino, and meanwhile on the blue line, that was Sesturo, who couldn't keep it in. 7.5 minutes left in the first frame. Goals much earlier in this one than the game yesterday. That one got one over to the far side, sent to Maria with a big slap shot that was patted out by Zagat. Fronte will feed it to Pramac, who's in over the Pride line, and will hold up. Feeds Abram near side, walks it, shoots it, and it hit traffic out in front, deflected into the corner. And that one had eyes for the back of the net. Now it's Pramac. Mishandled it over the Pride line, and it will be taken away by Flynn O'Neill. Fronte forced a turnover, feeds Pramac in the middle, but he fanned on the one-timer. And here's Pramac now. Back with the puck, has to move in on Sestero, who dumped Pramac into the corner and will skate away with that puck. Johnson on the point, trying to slap pass to Ulmer, but he couldn't deflect it. And still on the ice is Caleb Pramac. Got a penalty now coming up to Brian Goot. Tripping is the call. A dangerous hit that was knee on knee there on Sean Curtin by the Flyers captain. He's lucky that's only 2 minutes. But as I mentioned in the pregame, the Purdue Northwest Pride having one heck of a time on the power play this season. Moving into the weekend, only 6%. So, obviously, some room for improvement there for the Purdue Northwest Pride, but the Flyers, meanwhile, have put a lot of work into their special teams unit this year, has been working on it a lot in practice. Get to talk to Jim Swire, the head coach of Lewis Flyers hockey, on the podcast, and he talks about it often as now the Pride go to work. Sestero turns away from a hit, controls it down low. And the Pride still have it. Sestero on the half wall. Slaps it down low to Colin Cousin, who will feed it across to Verdino. Sestero with a drive, and they score. Might have been deflected out in front by Alex Moon. But either way, on the power play, the Purdue Northwest Pride are back up by 1 goal. 5.5 minutes left in this first frame. Right back on the ice is Scotty Ernsting, Logan Stumpf, and Logan Pickens. The Logan and Logan line. I think if I played on this team, this is the line I'd be on. Here's Ernsting battling through a couple sticks in the neutral zone, and it couldn't be kept in there by Grigori. Stumpf flips it up into the air, and it was easily gloved down. Here, moving back the other way was Pescatore. Now it's Mitchell. On the backhand, has a shot that hit someone out in the slot area and deflected into the near side wall. Naprovic still has it, far side, Flyers zone, has Ernsting right on him, but he's not able to pickpocket. And now Grigori forces it up the near side wall, and moving in there was Bukal, but it's still the Pride. Flyers can't get the puck out of the zone currently. And it's Witkowski with it in the Flyers' end. Transitions it to the near side. And on the point, a big shot is absorbed by Zagat, who will hold on for a much-needed whistle. It almost looked like the Pride were on a power play there, even though they were not. 4:14 only left in period one. Flyers looking to tie it up here after a power play goal was scored. Got backhanded up the near side wall by Troy Nail, and it will go down for an icing call. I think Nail thought that someone deflected it, but in the opinion of the linesman, they did not. So we'll see another face-off in the Flyers' end. Fronte moves in against Blake Witkowski. Witkowski had a goal against the Flyers last year. And here's Fronte. Is in on the forecheck, but Bukal sent it across. But a sloppy pass through the neutral zone will give it back to the Flyers. Stack swatted away a bouncing puck, but some really messy passes both sides here late in the first period. And now it's Dave Anderson. Slapped the pass up the far side wall to Santa Maria, but now it's Cheney who will kind of haphazardly throw one on goal, but not a problem at all for the big man, Sam Zagat, who will hold on to it. 3:11 left to go in the first on Flyers Check Cancer Night here in Romeoville. A great event, the first of its kind here for this Flyers hockey team that is benefiting the Wellness House. That they provide exercise classes, nutrition programs, support groups, and a whole bunch of more stuff for people living with cancer, all free of charge, giving families the whole person care that they need alongside medical treatment. An absolute great organization that I'm glad that we were able to partner with and donate all the proceeds from today's game, as well as all t-shirt sales. And we will be doing a chuck-a-puck in the second. A big shot block there by Brian Goot, who's got to be feeling the weight of that penalty he took that allowed the Pride to go back up by one. And he's busy throwing the body around in the offensive zone. Mike Steck. His clearing attempt was gloved down by Cheney in the neutral zone. And it's Goot and Anderson are tangled up near side wall. Grigori. Whistle should have been blown there because Pride were offsides and forechecking down behind the goal. And that, as is written in the rule book, is considered to be an intentional offsides, but was not observed by the referee, so we play on. Logan Stump, and a beautiful play through the neutral zone. Here's Ernsting moving in. Lots of moves, he scores! Scotty Ernsting on the breakaway ties things up with 1:37 left to go in the first period. A beautiful play by the Lewis Flyers through the neutral zone. Sent the Magic Man in all by himself. And abracadabra, this game is tied. Not a chance at all for Elias Johansson. And a huge goal if you're the Lewis Flyers to take a tied game into the dressing room, as that one was knocked down with a high stick. Minute 27 left for the Flyers to maybe get another one. A shot from the point, hit a couple sticks and deflected just by the side of the goal. Here's David. Could not clear it up the near side wall. He had Naprovic right in his kitchen there. And a backhand pass was intercepted in the middle of the ice. Here was Witkowski, who was right on top of the crease there. And Sam Zagat did a great job sticking that one into the corner. Pramac had to deal with a big shoulder there from McCraig. And Logan Stumpf stick handles and flings it on goal right into the Pride logo on the chest of Elias Johansson, who will catch it and hold on. Offensive zone face-off. Ernsting back on the ice. The best face-off man for the Flyers all season long. We'll lose that one, though, and Anderson will control. Flyers force a turnover, though. Ernsting's got it. He'll feed it down to Pickens all by himself, who had a cross-ice pass to Johnson, and he'll slap it back around. Ernsting ran into a big shoulder from Dave Anderson, but is still somehow able to come away with the puck. Anderson, 18 seconds left in this first period. Backhands it up. It sends Shaw into the zone, but couldn't corral it. Puck was in his skates. Here's Ernsting. Backhand pass to Pickens in the near side corner, and that will run out the clock here in the first. An excellent period, both sides. The Lewis Flyers having to do a couple of jobs and not get frustrated and come back from an early goal by the Pride, and Ernsting late there tied it up, and they take a tied game into the dressing room. We'll see period number 2 in about 14 minutes. You're watching Flyers hockey right here on the Lewis University Television Network.
We're there to serve, make sure we're creating a fair atmosphere for both teams, upholding the integrity of the game.
I chose to be an official. It's the best decision I've made.
In life, things aren't scripted. Games aren't pre-scripted. You know, I got into officiating because my father was an official. Officiating was part of our family life. It wasn't just the game.
Get to be outside, get to experience the game. It's so much more fun. You can get a lot out of it.
If you're an athlete, we need people like you and translate those skills to officiating.
It helped me become not only a better official, but a better person.
It happens in every town, in every game.
We never have a perfect game, but the rewards always outweigh the negativities.
And it's just been wonderful.
By
My name is Grace Duflon. I am a double major in public relations and advertising, as well as organizational communication, and I am from Delafield, Wisconsin. I was searching for a major for almost 2 years, and I'm very glad that I chose public relations because I do really enjoy talking with others, being creative, writing, designing, and all of those elements are incorporated in the major. My Lewis experience has been very hands-on. There was one class in particular, our public relations writing class, where we got to work with SEO Community Development Services, and they work to revitalize neighborhoods and work with underserved communities. And this was a full semester project where we were able to create lots of public relations and advertising materials, and we also got to work on our client services skills because we met with the owner on a weekly basis. This project gave us great real-life experience and also helped me realize that I do love the client services aspect of public relations, and I would love to do that in my career someday.
Can you help me?
Mom, Dad, we're going out.
Thank you.
Oh, look, they're playing chess.
What you got there?
Will you help my mom?
She's real sick, huh? Hey, crew, I'll give the first move to anyone who signs up to be an organ donor. How do you do it?
Easy. Just go to organdonor.gov.
You heard him, organdonor.gov.
More donors means more hope. Sign up at organdonor.gov.
What do you think you're doing, Kevin?
Was just gonna drive home.
There are several warning signs present that you shouldn't be driving.
Like hearing voices?
Like your text-to-emoji ratio?
Oh man, the selfies.
Selfie, nailed it.
We all have warning signs that let us know that we're probably not okay to drive. Mine is pretending to be your subconscious.
Greg, come on man, let's put a ride home.
Lewis University is full of devoted students ready to take the first step into their future. A group of hard-working and devoted students using the tools and resources provided and the experiences and opportunities gifted to them to identify their passion and explore their purpose, working endlessly to find their true calling.
We welcome you back inside Inwood Ice Arena in beautiful Joliet, Illinois, for this college hockey ACHA Division II tilt between the Lewis Flyers and visiting Purdue Northwest Pride. After 20 minutes of hockey, it was all evened up by the Magic Man himself, Scotty Ernsting, late in the first. And so both teams will be looking to break this stalemate here in the second. Real great period of hockey for the Flyers. Didn't get down. Ended up being down twice in the first frame, and were able to battle back both times and tie it up. As Grigori has a shot, and Pickens found it, or Ernsting rather, in front of the net, and tried a fancy move instead of just throwing it on goal, which probably would have been the better option there. Reversed by Weigel to Shaw on the far side. Abram lost a glove and a stick on that play. And fresh off the bench is Josh David. Grigori with a one-touch pass, gave it away in the middle of the ice to Moon, who was actually coming off for a line change. Here's Shaw on the far side. Half wall has a sharp angle shot that was wide. And it was kept in and sent around the net by Sestero. Adrian Abram put it off the referee's skate and turned it over right in the middle to Santa Maria. But Zagat was able to recover. A dangerous turnover there for the Flyers. This time the pass was rifled up the near side wall, and it gets deflected in by Pramac, who gave it to Fronte in the middle. Turnaround slapper was just wide. And it was ladled up the far side wall. Here's Santa Maria in over the Lewis line. Cuts to the middle and ran into Caleb Pramac, who took the puck away. Ulmer lost his footing, and that allowed O'Neill to get the puck. Now Sestero has a rink-wide pass. On the far side, that's Cheney. And it gets sent around. Brian Goot moving with speed in on McCraig. Had it poked off his stick, but Goot's able to try again here. Ulmer slaps it on goal, and it was deflected by Sestero with what looked like a high stick, but it deflected on over to Elias Johansson, who will hold on. 17:42 left in this first period, or the second period rather. We're still tied 2-2. Ernsting in on the draw, will win it back to Stumpf, who was in the triggerman spot on that faceoff. Ott took it away, and the Breider in, and a big save is made by Zagat on the 2-on-0. And now moving with speed is Ernsting. Chips it to himself in the offensive zone, turns and fires, and it was just wide of the net. It was kept in on the point there momentarily by Nail, but now moving with speed the other way is Pescatore. He has a wrist shot from the point. That will be easily handled by the Lewis netminder. Here's Ulmer moving in against Witkowski to take this defensive zone face-off, and after a pump fake, the puck will be dropped. Goot on the far side wall. And a nice breakout pass to Ulmer, who will skate it across the ice. Colin Kozin will get things going. Had the opening goal this afternoon in Joliet. Sharp angle shot was tipped out in front, but was lofted up and out by Brian Goot. Kozin, a backhand rink-wide pass, will feed it to Weigel, who will send it in for Jacob Benke, who kind of touched it to the middle, but it will go right to Sam Zagat for him to freeze it. This is Flyers Check Cancer Night. You might see some Joliet Jaguars buzzing around here in the stands They're selling Chuck-a-Pucks. We're going to see that in the second intermission, but we had a QR code on the screen in that intermission there, but now here's David. Will go in with speed, and a butterfly save is made by Elias Johansson. And another great chance for the Flyers. I started to say, though, a QR code was on the screen during intermission. That'll take you to the Lewis University Hockey website, where you can make a donation to the Wellness House, where all the proceeds are benefiting this afternoon as part of Flyers Check Cancer. Off that rush to get me another stop in peak performance as usual. Puck got rung around to Stumpf on the near side, and his rink-wide pass will give it to Pickens. Right back over to Ernsting. He's in on Cheney, and they battle for possession behind the Pride net. Gets slapped up to the near side wall, where it's Santa Maria who will get things going. Ladled in, and O'Neill's in on Stack, and gave Stack a big shoulder there and came away with the puck. It's a big Stack anyway is strong on his skates, and when you get him going, you know it's a major physical contact. Zastero, his rink-wide pass was intercepted by Adrian Abram. Moving in, a drag shot was saved by Johansson. And right there to corral the rebound was Good. He sent it to Omer in the middle, but he couldn't pull the trigger on the shot. Wolninski cycled it down to Good, who couldn't handle it, and it was taken away by Mitchell. In on Dan Johnson was Pescatore, but they couldn't get anything going. Here's David. He's got Wolninski in the middle. Saucer pass fed it to Wolninski, but it was saved by Johansson. Another grade A chance for the Lewis Flyers in this one. Wolninski took it away in the offensive zone, leans and fires it. Rebound was found by David, but another stop was made by Johansson. Flyers in control now in the offensive zone. And Dan Johnson's pass was deflected into the corner, and the linesman was indicating a delayed icing situation, but I guess changed his mind as that one gets forced into the Lewis zone. Fronte fights it up the far side wall just for it to be sent right back in by Weigel. Pramack couldn't control on the Pride blue line, and then we'll go and put a big shoulder down. Zagat, I think, didn't like what he saw there. Colin Cousin was in kind of floating in the offensive zone, and now we'll see a face-off Lewis end. Left wing side, it's Ernsting, and Moon will square up. One into the corner there by Moon, who gave it right to Ernsting, and now he's turning on the Jets, buzzing into the Pride end. Left it for Stumpf, but on the back check there was JT Verdino, who had a great play in his defensive zone, taking that puck away. And a big shoulder sent Moon down to the ice. And Logan Stumpf again with another body check there in the offensive zone, and I think Flyers are feeling the energy in the building today. Verdino off a rink-wide pass, tried to hit it Moon, who was moving into the Flyers zone with speed, but the puck was deflected up into the bench by Dominic Grigori, and that will cause a stoppage of play. As I started to say, though, capacity crowd just about at Inwood Ice Arena. in Joliet. One of the many ice rinks in the area. There's so many that I think kind of get overlooked by the Flyers. They play all the home games at Camlin Sports in Romeoville, and kind of great to play a game somewhere else. They've been fantastic hosts of this hockey game. Stormy of the Joliet Jaguars have been working with him a real lot to get things set up for this broadcast today, so I wanted to give him a shout out. Greg Sternello, a name well known to the entire Joliet Jaguars hockey community. As we approach the halfway point in this hockey game, been a lot of offensive zone time for the Purdue Northwest Pride, but I think the better of the chances have to have gone to the Flyers. They have had a couple really, really good ones, and in the neutral zone, Josh David was dragged down to the ice, but no call will be made. Here's Sestero. Weaving through the neutral zone, trying to give it to Verdino, but instead Moon moves in, and his shot was blocked. Now it's Anderson in the neutral zone. Kind of bounces one in on goal, looking for the short hop, but was handled excellently by Sam Zagat. Here now is Grigori. He's pinned up against the wall by JT Verdino. Into support is Pescatore. Sestero will work it down low. Pescatore now turns and shoots it, but it was blocked by Grigori. And now it's Verdino. Had it turned over, and look out. Trying to be sent high off the glass by Alex Fronte. And that's a souvenir in the front row there. Face-off still inside the Lewis end, unable to change because Fronte threw it out of play in the defensive zone, and face-off was run right to Grigori, who will sauce it in on goal. Some contact there between Caleb Pramek and I believe Pescatore on the far side wall, and that was just in front of the Flyers bench behind the play, unobserved by the referee, and really haven't been a whole lot of penalties to boot this game, but either way, we play on. Weigel in his own zone will dish it on up, and it's kicked ahead by Kazin. He's into the Flyers zone, but Adrian Abram was there to prevent anything further. And Abram working hard in the defensive zone on Kazin. Ryan Goot gave it right away to Naprovic. The Flyers slowing down seemingly as we cross over the halfway point in this hockey game. Brian Goot tangles it up on the far side half wall, and it was sent right into the bench by Ernsting, and that will cause a whistle. And because the Flyers were in their defensive zone, they are unable to change. So Logan Stump's got to come back on the ice. And Ernsting will square up this time against Shaw. And right off the faceoff, it'll go to Sam Zagat, and the Flyers will get a line change now. Here's Dominic Grigori on just in front of Sam Zagat there. gets to suit up again for the Lewis Flyers. He's one of the black aces on this Flyers hockey team, and a body check was tried to be thrown there by Goot, who went crashing into the boards. And now Verdino is in over the Flyer line. He's pushed into the corner by Dominic Grigori, who is then taken down. And now Nail will give it over to David. He's in over the Pride line on the far side. Tries a centering pass to Wilninski, but it was broken up. And now moving fast the other way is R.J. Shaw, whose shot is blockered down by Zagat, and he made a second stop on the putback attempt by Verdino. He still got it on the far side wall, but it's poked at by Naprovic. And a sharp angle snapshot was turned aside by Zagat. Weigel on the point. Gives it in the middle to Kozin, whose on-ice shot was blocked by the stick of Alex Fronte. But the Pride still control. Naprovic with a long-range drive was saved by Zagat. Rebound found by Weigel. It's Colin Kozin now in the offensive zone. To the point is Naprovic, whose drive was blocked by Josh David. It stung him, but finally the Flyers are able to get the puck out of the zone. Fronte gave it to Naprovic and will come off for a line change, and luckily for the Flyers, Naprovic fanned on it. Colin Kozin pitchforks that one into the far side corner, and now the Pride will get a line change of their own. A stretch pass was out of the reach of everybody. Jim Sawyer palms up on the bench. I think he thought someone touched the puck, but we will see a face-off in the Lewis end. Over next to the bench, Mike Stack, big defenseman for the Flyers, is trying to walk something off. Looks to be some sort of lower body injury. We'll have to monitor that situation. Flyers have been plagued with injuries throughout the season thus far, have not played a game this season where they're fully rostered. They were without Dan Johnson for a while, who was injured against St. Norbert College. They're currently without Ethan Horman, the Lewis Flyers golf team member. And a shot from the slot was just wide of the net. And now it's the Flyers. They're moving in 3-on-1. Stumpf across to Pramac. Wines fires, he scores! Caleb Pramac gets his second goal of the day, and the Flyers are now up by 1. The Flyers made an excellent play moving into the zone, 3-on-1. And now, for the first time this weekend, the Flyers control. And you see Jim Sawyer there in conversation with the referee on the bench for the Lewis Flyers. Has to be complaining about the icing call, one has to think. And right off that face-off, the Pride have iced it. Right back onto the ice is Ernsting, Stumpf, and Pramac for this offensive zone face-off. 7:16 left to go in period number 2. Ernsting left it for Stumpf in the middle, who will find it, turns and shoots it, but a save was made by Elias Johansson. And the Flyers again turn it over, get forced to turn over anyway in the offensive or the neutral zone. Stumpf turns, shoots it, they score again! Scotty Ernsting in perfect position, and the Flyers are up by 2. Great offensive awareness by Logan Stumpf in the far side corner.
will feed the Magic Man in the slot for an easy tap in, and the Flyers are up by 2. And the Purdue Northwest Pride have taken their timeout. The Flyers move confidently into the driver's seat after a beautiful play in the offensive zone by Logan Stumpf. I think Elias Johansson thought he was going to shoot that puck from a sharp angle from the far side corner, but he didn't. And obviously the right decision was made by the Flyers forward to take his team up by 2. If you're Jim Swire, you have to be pretty satisfied with your team's performance. You see Tom Pauly there on the ice, not happy with how his team has played in this second period, I'm sure. And the energy has changed in Inwood Ice Arena this afternoon. It's Moon with a long-range shot that was blockered aside by Zagat. And Moon again in the offensive zone. Gave it away to Dan Johnson, who sent it to Goot, who slapped it up. Moon on the top of the circles. Pride bench wanted a penalty, and they're going to get one. A really late call by the referee in the near side corner. The Pride also having a power play goal this game, even though they have not impressed the masses on the power play this season. Brian Goot will take a seat for the second time this hockey game, probably not satisfied with his performance. But a huge opportunity for the Pride to cut the Flyers' lead in half. Moon will get it back after his sharp angle shot. It's Sestero. A long-range drive patted out by Zagat. And now Verdino on the near side. We'll give it away to Moon and back to Sestero. His long-range shot was deflected by O'Neill in the slot, but was deflected wide. Sestero on the face-off dot has a centering pass that hit a stick and was out. Now it's David on the penalty kill, is moving fast up the left wing side, cuts to the middle, and his shot was saved by Johansson. And a really great try for the Lewis Flyers on the penalty kill. Now with speed the other way is Santa Maria, who flung it around the Lewis, not to Shaw. And here's Cheney. Walks in, shoots it, and a save made by Zagat. Deflects it up into the protective netting. And a really great penalty kill for the Flyers thus far. 56 seconds left of power play time on the tripping penalty that was assessed to Brian Goot. And Fronte moves in and wins that face-off. Great clear by the big man on the blue line, Troy Nail, the former Chicago Crush, member of the Chicago Crush anyway, and use that big stick to get that puck out of there. Here's Benke. Is tied up with, that's Abram in the far side corner. Anderson with a long range shot is tracked through traffic by Zagat. Benke was right there, but Zagat came out on top. .449 now left in this second period. Flyers are up by 2.
got to kill off 25 more seconds of penalty time. If they are able to do so, it's possible they could take a lot of momentum away from this one. Here's Moon in the far side corner. Looks for Cheney on the point. Back to Moon. One-timer, hit traffic out in front. And now behind the net, it's Kazan. Controls on his backhand is Cicero. Kazan far side, top of the circles. His shot was blocked by Ethan Rapaz. And the Flyers kill off that penalty. Clearing attempt from Wolninski was gloved down. And a sharp angle shot hit the side of the cage from Colin Kazan. And the pass will find Naprovic on the point, but his shot was well high and wide. And O'Neill mishandled it. That allowed Ernsting to skate it around the net. Finally, the Flyers are able to get it out of the zone, but it's Colin Kazan sending it right back in on goal. And again, that's the, I think, second time we've seen that play this game by the Purdue Northwest Pride. Throwing it on goal from the neutral zone, forcing Zagat to make a long-range save, which sometimes can be hard, especially in a new building that Sam Zagat maybe isn't as familiar playing in. The lighting's different, and tracking that through the air is difficult, but the big man in white has done a good job throughout the course of this hockey game. Here's Ott on his own blue line, gives a rink-wide pass across to Pescatore, but right there was Abram who took it away. And the Flyers have iced the puck. And again, Jim Swire and Dylan Parshall on the Flyers bench not too satisfied with the calls that are going their way this hockey game. Ernsting won the faceoff though, and it was gloved down on the point by the Pride. Centering pass was sent wide right to Logan Stumpf, who couldn't scoop it up the near side wall. It's Adrian Abram. In came Santa Maria to poke it out, and Weigel with the point shot was just wide, and it deflects to Logan Stumpf. Flyers can't get it out. Witkowski threw it in the middle, right to Troy Nail. And since this timeout that was taken by the Pride, it's been all Purdue Northwest. 2:39 left to go. It'd be huge for the Flyers to take this 2-goal lead into the dressing room. And finally, it was sent out. Here's Flynn O'Neill. Pass was out of his reach, and he's moving in on Nail with speed and will force that turnover. And a sharp angle shot was swatted at by O'Neill, and the puck sat in the crease, but Zagat found it and was able to cover up. Zagat slow to get up after a lot of action right around the blue paint. And a question from the Pride bench will result in a conversation between the officiating staff. I'm not entirely sure what they could be complaining about. But either way, head coach Tom Pauly must have had his question answered. It was McCraig on the point who sent it down low, and it popped out in front, but Zagat was right there, pressed up against the post. And we'll have another face-off in the Lewis end. Face off to the right wing side of Sam Zagat. Moon was tossed out of the face-off. In comes JT Verdino, the former Jersey Hitman. Will square up against Alex Fronte. Fronte wanted into the corner, but moving fast was Moon, and he regains possession. Cheney on the point, lofts one on goal, and it was sent just wide. And Anderson on the far side half wall slaps it back. Clearing attempt, one off a stanchion by Dominic Grigori, and it's still the Pride controlling the offensive zone. Verdino sent it in the middle to Anderson, but he fanned on that putback attempt. And in comes Dan Johnson and absolutely lays down Moon. And he is down in the near side corner. Some frustration from the Purdue fan section to our left-hand side, but it was just an unfortunate positioning there by Moon. He was in the corner. Dan Johnson had a clean body check, and one could argue boarding, I suppose. The definition, the textbook definition anyway, of boarding is when the player goes violently and aggressively into the boards, and I can't really say that that happened there. It was a big, solid body check. He kind of grazed off the boards into the ice. But now Anderson will send it back in for the Pride. Minute 24 left to go in this first period. And the Pride are trying to do some damage control. O'Neal will move in against Ulmer on this face-off to the left wing side of Sam Zagat. And now Wilninski will skate it out. He's moving with speed up the right wing wall in over the Pride line. Has a sharp angle shot that's panted out by Elias Johansson. And it was once again scooped out. Abram gave it right away to Benke in the neutral zone. He chips and chases into the Flyers' end. Around the net it goes to the near side, and it's Colin Cousin. Has Flynn O'Neal right there, who will control it on the half-wall Flyer zone. 50 seconds left to go in the second period. Adrian Abram sent it up over the glass and out of play. Face off to the right wing side this time of Zagat. Scotty Ernsting moves back onto the ice. He'll face off against Blake Witkowski. The grad student from Connecticut will win that face-off. Naprovic's long-range shot would not find the net. And now it's Weigel. In the far side corner, a one-time centering pass. Couldn't find Witkowski. It's Shaw. Another shot is saved by Zagat. 25 seconds left in this period. Here's Ernsting. Sauces it over to Stump, and finally the Flyers will dump it in. In on the forecheck is Stump. Trying to kill off the last 10 seconds here in the second. A slap shot was sent wide by Logan Pickens, and another try by Grigori on the point was blocked by Shaw, and the Flyers take a 2-goal lead into the dressing room. This has to be huge if you're the Lewis Flyers against a really tough team like the Purdue Northwest Pride. Tom Pauley with a great.
We are joined today in the studio by Flyers forward, one of the most successful forwards that's on the team currently, Scotty Ernsting. Welcome to the show.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah, it's been a long time coming. I feel like we've been saying that a lot this season. I don't know.
Well, yeah, because last year we did all the seniors and we ran through them, and then there's a whole other set of seniors.
Yeah, so welcome to the show. Not that you need much of a welcome based on your performance lately, but, we're glad to have you here and talk some hockey. I think we just start off, maybe get a little bit of your background, where you grew up, kind of where you started playing hockey, and then we'll kind of move into this past weekend.
Okay, yeah. So I started playing. So I'm the youngest of 8 kids. I got 5. Whew. Yeah, I got 5 older brothers.
Whoa! I knew you had a lot of brothers, but yep. I didn't realize you were one of 8.
Yep.
Oh
yep.
my!
So they all played hockey. Pretty much all of them played hockey growing up. So as soon as I started,
any
walking,
of the sisters?
Yeah. So I have a sister a year older than me. She played for a while. She didn't play in high school or anything like that. She quit when she was probably 8 years old, but she started playing. Yeah. She was good. She should have stuck it out, I think, but that's a different story for a different time, I guess. But yeah, no, I started when I was 3. Just playing with my brothers. We had my dad built a rink in the backyard, so that was a great time always. From there,
that's the best way to start.
Oh yeah, 100%, 100%. When I was younger, I played for the Sabres. I grew up in Naperville, right by Waubonsie. Played for the Sabres growing up, and then I played for the Fury. And then after that, I played for Sabres for another year, and then I played for Bennett Academy, which was my high school. Played there my freshman through junior year. Then my senior year, I decided to play Team Illinois. It was a good experience, and then after that, I decided to come to Lewis.
And did that have anything to do with the fact that your brother was playing here at that time?
1,000%. So I knew since I was a sophomore in high school that I wanted to be a pilot, which put Lewis, front and center on my radar. My brother, he got his private pilot license here, obviously. And as soon as he got that, he took me up, and I kind of knew what I wanted to do with.
You were hooked.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah.
And so, you knew then you wanted to play hockey. You didn't play any time with him, right? Because he's how much older is your brother Matt?
He's born in '99, so he's 5.5 years older than me.
Okay, so yeah.
Yeah, the cycle doesn't work.
No,
unfortunately.
Did you get to play with any of your siblings or no?
No. Matt, it was very close. Matt got his graduate. He got his master's, I should say. But no, it just didn't work out.
So I guess now is a good time to bring this up. So I don't know how aware you are with the stat section of the website, but if you take a look at all-time player stats for the Lewis Flyers organization, your brother Matt's sitting at number 3 all-time points with 114. You are sitting at number 7 with 106 points.
Okay, I didn't know that.
So you're 8 points behind your brother Matt.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
What do we think
doesn't mean we start playing for points.
No,
absolutely. I don't like to look at those.
But you have to. With a bunch of boys in the family,
so
it gets competitive. That's the way it was when I grew up.
No,
everything is competitive.
It is competitive. If you talk to Matt about this, he's definitely going to say, "Oh, we played in a different time frame. We play so different." And I agree. I 100% agree. So we're not as competitive with the stat line as you'd think. Now he'll tell me, all right, whenever you're ready, Scotty, we'll go one-on-one. We'll settle it that way. Which, all the power to him. But yeah, no, he wouldn't worry too much about it. Yeah, it'd be a little bit of an ego shot. He'd never admit that, but I think it'd be an ego shot. But yeah, no, we don't get too competitive with stuff like that.
Which is surprising with that. How many? There's 5 boys, you said?
Yeah, it's If I started, barking at him like, "Oh, I'm gonna catch you," he'd just say, "All right, let's go one-on-one then," and it'd be that you'd shut it down that way, I guess.
Well, I feel like with the way you've been playing lately, and I guess this is now a good time. I've been waiting to play this clip for you, which I'm sure you've seen my reaction to your goal this past Saturday.
I did, yeah, that was awesome. But I will say,
I think we need to listen to that, and then we'll get your reaction, and then we could talk some about the games against DePaul here. But. Okay. Let's see if I can get this pulled up.
And into Scotty Ernsting, who took the puck away. Now he works the puck into the neutral zone. Ernsting's got it. Oh my God!
That's awesome.
Oh no, I turned it off. But yeah, there was that was probably the greatest reaction I ever had. That was just I don't know how you do some of that. Very impressive. I mean, what was the idea there? I mean, you going in with that idea, you're just going to make everyone on this?
We welcome you back inside Inwood Ice Arena in Joliet, Illinois. Logan Cap here on the call. And it's all business from the Purdue Northwest bench. And coaching staff through that intermission call, or through that intermission. Not a lot of smiles. Already having an early conversation with the referees. As the teams retank the ice surface, the Flyers took a huge lead into that second intermission. 4-2 is the score. Pramack and Ernsting combined for both the goal, or all 4 goals that have been scored by the Lewis Flyers this afternoon. They each have 2. And for the Pride, it's Zach Sestero, the 5'8" D-man from Estero, Florida. Has 1, and then Colin Cousin had a goal yesterday, 2 goals last year for the Pride against the Flyers. Has a goal today, and he was my pick for the Pride this afternoon and has already found the back of the net 1 time. After the Pride took their timeout in the second period, it was all Purdue Northwest. We're in store for what should be a very entertaining, very energetic final 20 minutes of hockey. That one gets slapped in. Out to play it was Zagat, who left it for Adrian Abram, but the Pride are right on him. Now Ernsting weaving through the neutral zone, that's Adam Naprovic right on him. And a pass could not be handled by Logan Stumpf. It's Ernsting, picks it up on the Pride blue line, walks it and shoots it, he scores! Scotty Ernsting with the hat trick will take the Flyers up by 3. And that's it for Elias Johansson. John Hughes coming in relief for the Pride. And a big start for the Lewis Flyers here in the third period. or 32 rather seconds into the third. Ernsting gets his third. And after having a pretty magical conversation with him on the Lewis Hockey Podcast this week, which you should have just saw a clip of in that intermission. You can find the full version of that at lewisuniversityhockey.com. Now it's Verdino on the Flyers blue line. Was stopped by Zagat, and Abram will carry it up the near side wall. Fresh off the bench is Goot, who will pick it up on the center dot. And Wolinski was buzzing in and has to deal with a couple players there behind the net. Adam Naprovic had them all tied up. And a cross-eyes pass hit the skate of Flynn O'Neill and will be scooped up the near side wall by Sestero. Santa Maria has his stick lifted by Troy Nail, who will reverse it back up the near side. And Ulmer couldn't loft it out. Cheney behind the net. Had a pass to no one, and again, Ulmer can't clear. Naprovic's long-range shot was well wide. And now the Pride control. The centering pass could not be handled by Brian Goot, and McCraig with a shot was blocked by the Flyers captain, who will then go and lay a big body check down on the other side of the ice. Here now is Pescatore pressed up against the glass by Troy Nail. And it was cleared out by Adrian Abram, and Ernsting skated it up, but now it's Pickens. He's in over the Pride line, who will leave a drop pass for Logan Stumpf with a huge reverse hit. Stumpf still got it. Stick handles it down to Logan Pickens. Behind the net
His centering pass was blocked there by Dave Anderson, who was in perfect position at the time. And all of a sudden, the Flyers with a few chances of their own. First official stop for John Hughes there. Centering pass by Logan Stumpf, and the Flyers score again. Just like that. Logan Stumpf takes the Flyers up by 4. Another Flyer player who has been having a really great year. He had a goal yesterday against the Pride. And the Lewis Flyers digging their heels in. Here's Benke. Slaps one just wide behind the Flyer net. And again, I can only imagine the attack and pressure from the Pride for the rest of this hockey game will be immense. Here's David sashaying over the Pride line, had it poked away, but he'll regain and ring it back around. Adrian Abram skating backwards, had nice body position there to maintain his skating lane. Up the far side glass, it could not be sent out. Ulmer again, having one heck of a time today getting the puck out of the zone. Anderson's shot was blocked out in front. And Sestero has a drive that's controlled by, that's Adrian Abram, who will come off the ice. And the icing is waived. This time it's the Pride who've iced it. It was a really good game yesterday. The Pride controlled for the most of it, and to be completely honest, it seems like they've generated more of the opportunities today than the Flyers, but the difference has been Flyers have been able to convert. Faceoff was won so cleanly by Ernsting that it forces Logan Stumpf back into his own zone, who has a nifty move behind his own net. Dan Johnson on the near side, the former Lockport Spartan, tries to get it up, but it's kept in. Here's Stumpf. Sends it up off the boards and out, but it gets slapped over to Anderson. Sestero flings it into the near side corner where it's nailed back to get it. Now behind the net, Sestero. And the Pride go to work in the offensive zone. A shot hit a skate out in the slot, and right on it in the corner is O'Neill, but Ernsting came back and took it away. Logan Stumpf was going off for a line change. Otherwise, that would have been a great pass by Ernsting. Now in the offensive zone, it was Santa Maria who tried to dance by Adrian Abram, but he was not able to do so. Nail has to deal with Pescatore right on him. But it's Abram pressing it up against the wall now. Here's Nail for the Flyers. Kind of fans on the pass to David, but Naprovic was able to keep it in. Abram has a great play off the far side glass, but it immediately gets sent right back in by the Pride. Pramac could not get it, and it's the Pride in the offensive zone. Centering pass was blocked by Zagat, and a rink-wide pass will send David in over the Pride line. He had it poked off his stick by an excellent defensive play from Naprovic. And Adam Naprovic has been playing well on both sides of the puck here this afternoon. That icing was waved off. And it's Johnson. Gave it to Goot, but
Colin Kozagen was right there. And now Grigori gave it right away in the neutral zone. But Ulmer panicked on his own blue line and iced it. You hear Jim Sawyer barking at Dominic Grigori, who really was just trying to make a quick move on his own blue line, and then Ulmer came in and kind of slapped it all the way down. Ulmer lost that faceoff to Alex Moon, but the Flyers are able to get it out. Brian Gute, and Walensky couldn't stop on the blue line, so that is ruled to be offside. We had a wonderful chuck-a-puck in that second intermission there. Again, today is Flyers Check Cancer in collaboration with the Joliet Jaguars Youth Organization. You see their logo on the ice and on the wall above the Flyers bench. It's been a great weekend of hockey and a wonderful event to get the youth hockey community and the Lewis hockey community together. Fresh off the bench was Ernsting, who rifled it back into the Purdue Northwest end, and Gute forced a turnover, but his backhand pass didn't have a lot on it. And Adrian Abram blew a tire, but made a great play while on the ice to recover there. And the Pride, in the midst of a line change, allows Caleb Pramek to skate it in, but we got a penalty now coming up to the Purdue Northwest Pride in the offensive zone. The Flyers will now see their first power play of the game. Flyers have scored on about a third of their power play attempts this season, 35.5% so far. But the Purdue Northwest Pride with a really strong penalty kill. 86% of all penalties they've taken, they've been able to kill off. And something that was talked about earlier and mentioned to me by head coach Jim Sawyer was that the Pride have a very aggressive penalty kill and have scored 3 shorthanded goals this season already, and just something for the Flyers to keep in the back of their mind as they go to work on the power play. It's chipped in by Pramek, who will get it himself. And Dominic Grigori's out there for the Flyers, getting some special teams time. A pass across the box will feed Stumpf. His shot was deflected by Grigori up in front, but it was deflected high and out. If you're the Flyers, you still just want to get any shots you can on John Hughes, who came in relief of Elias Johansson after Ernsting scored not just over 30 seconds into this third period. And then again, Hughes was scored on. So the Flyers with 2 goals this third period, and if you are the Flyers, you want to keep up some of that and have some offensive zone time. Ulmer delaying the start of this rush behind his net. Now finally it's David. Chips it in and chases behind the Pride net as he's squeezed off the puck, but the Flyers maintain possession. Here's Wolninski in the near side corner. Squirts out to Fronte on the point. His shot was trying to avoid Colin Kozagen, who was right on him trying to block it, so it went into the far side corner. Logan Stumpf on the point. Has to turn away from some major pressure there and is checked into the padded stanchion on the end of the Purdue Northwest bench. McCraig. Pile up in the far side corner. In comes Pramek to pick it out of there. And that was Santa Maria, who's right on Pramek and wrapped them all up. Penalty over. 5-on-5 hockey. Pramac still has the puck in the offensive zone. Turns away from Naprovic. Fake shot. His shot was patted out by John Hughes. And one has to think after killing off that penalty, the Pride will take some more momentum away from that. We're over halfway done with this third period. Flyers are up by 4. JT Verdino ran into a stiff shoulder there from Logan Stumpf. And Rapaz gave it to Grigori in his own end. A quick pass up to Josh David will send him in on the left wing side. His sharp angle shot is shouldered up into the protective netting by Hughes. And that's probably the third or fourth time we've seen Josh David move fast up the left wing side and try to elevate that puck, but Hughes was ready for it. In perfect position to make the short side save. David will stay on to take this face-off. He's got Goot right behind him in the triggerman spot. And it was controlled by the Pride off the draw. Dave Anderson will send it up to Verdino on the far side. And now it's the Pride, a centering pass, evaded the stick of JT Verdino. And a collision between Rapaz there and Sestero, but now it's Nail in his own zone around to Abram. Pride in the midst of a line change. Keep Verdino out on the forecheck. The Flyers really all day have not been able to cleanly break out the puck. I don't know how many defensive zone turnovers they've had, but it's been a lot of them as that shot was deflected up into the netting by Flynn O'Neill. And we'll see a face-off this time in the Flyers' end. 8:25 left to go in the third period. Goals this period coming from Scotty Ernsting, 32 seconds in, and Logan Stumpf. And a big shot block there by Stumpf will send Pickens ahead. He just kind of lofts it in on goal and will come off for a line change. I think he was at the end of a long shift there as Sam Zagat comes way out of the crease to freeze it. A huge shot block by Logan Stumpf. Not afraid to get into the shooting lane. Zagat will see a face-off to his left wing side now. One into the corner by the Flyers, and Johnson, it's scooped out. Now David's in all by himself. Josh David tries to elevate it past Hughes, but Hughes was ready and came out on top. Josh David again, trying to catch the Pride in a line change. Had his pass broken up in the middle by Adam Naprovic. McCraig had kind of a pass to nobody there. And meanwhile, on the other side of the ice, the Flyers controlling their defensive zone. Caleb Pramac in the Pride end was tangled up with O'Neill, who went off for a line change. And now Pramac will do the same. Dave Anderson gets squeezed off the puck by the Flyers captain. And now Abram. Just saw Mike Steck, defenseman for the Lewis Flyers, with all of his equipment off. He was walking around, so one has to think he sustained some sort of lower body injury. We saw him in that second period trying to walk something off next to the Flyers bench. Now Pascatore took it away from Walensky. He's got it in the Flyers zone. His shot was in and out of the glove of Zagat and slapped into the near side corner. Verdino rings it down low, and the pass was straight up the middle of the ice from the Flyers defensive zone. And the point shot was blocked by Grigori out in front, causing another whistle. But the Flyers, for the rest of this hockey game, have to be better at cleanly breaking the puck out of their own zone. They've countless turnovers And granted, the Pride have a very aggressive style of forecheck and are probably a big reason for that, but Flyers still, when in doubt, high and hard off the glass, it never fails. Abrams got it now in the near side corner with 6:14 left to go in the third period. Flyers are up by 4. Abram was able to poke it away from Moon, who was moving with speed. And now Moon and Abram tangle up. Here's Ernsting revving up the Jets in over the Pride line on the far side. Dot has a up-high shot that was blockered aside by Hughes. And this one gets lofted in. Here's Shaw in the Flyer zone, and Sam Zagat made a big save off the helmet. And that popped the straps off the brain bucket. And what is this? The Purdue Northwest Pride are taking John Hughes off the ice. 5:40 left to go. They will get the extra attacker out there. A very aggressive move by Tom Pauly and the Purdue Northwest Pride. Being down by 4 goals against this Lewis Flyers team, who is in the lower division, the NCHL the Orange Division. And here's Colin Cousin working the puck in the Flyers zone, turns away from a hit from Logan Pickens. On the far side, it gets sent up to the point. Dave Anderson's got it. His quick shot hit traffic out in front and deflects into the near side corner. Benke gave it away to Fronte, and it gets gloved down by Weigel, and Fronte scoops it out. And it was almost taken away there by Pramack on the Pride blue line. And Pramack's clearing attempt failed. Santa Maria has a centering pass that evaded JT Verdino, who was right there in the slot. Under 5 minutes left to go in the third. Dave Anderson on the point, winds and fires it, but it went off the pant leg of Naprovic, and moving fast is Josh David. Beat out that icing call, and he's given a stiff shot there right in the danger zone and goes crashing hard into the end boards. And I don't see how that's not a penalty. That's talked about in the officiating seminars. When you're moving fast and you get a stiff cross check to the back of the pants, will send you literally full speed into the end wall, the stiffest part of the rink. And no call was made. But either way, now we'll see a face-off in the Lewis end. Winning it back was Caden Ulmer, and that squirted out in front, and Zagat had to find it in the air and cover up. And the Flyers are about to see a lot of pressure from the Pride. Face off, right wing Dot. Once again, one into the corner by Caden Ulmer, and Abram will press it up against the wall this time. And Wilninski on the point was unable to find it. He tangles up there just in front of Thomas Lavno on the Lewis bench. Clearing attempt once again, gloved down by Shaw, and his sharp angle shot goes off Dan Johnson's stick and up into the netting. If you're the Lewis Flyers at this point, number one priority has got to just be get the puck out of there. It's got to just go all the way down the ice. Even if you have to take an icing call, anything to take the pressure off for a couple seconds and kill off some more time. Ernsting lost that face-off. Verdino moved in.
And he's got it now on the half wall, Lewis end. Sustero sent it down low, and it's O'Neal with a shot, and it's saved by Zagat. And it is slapped out of there by Rapaz. It's rolling into the net. Rapaz has scored from his own net on the clearing attempt. It rolled all the way down, and the Flyers are up by 5. A very lucky play for the Lewis Flyers. Ethan Rapaz in his own zone smacked at it. And it rolled from about the blue line all the way back. The Pride were kind of lackadaisical in their back-checking efforts. And that will give the Lewis Flyers the touchdown today against the Pride. The Flyers specifically tailored their schedule to play some of these tougher teams right before the break. This is their last game before Christmas, the Lewis Flyers anyway. Here's Gutt moving in. He shoots it and he scores! Brian Goot! Power move to the middle, and he takes the Flyers up by 6. The Flyers captain gets his 4th goal on the year. And if you're Jim Swire, you have to be satisfied with this performance today by the Lewis Flyers. As I started to say before all of that recent action, the Flyers kind of tailored their schedule to play the DePaul Blue Demons last week and the Purdue Northwest Pride. And that was given some time to the Lewis Flyers to kind of get their things together, as it were. And it seems to have paid off as they lead the Purdue Northwest Pride by 6. Puck gets sent in out to play. It was Sam Zagat in the corner. And now it's David, who, it's good to see him back on the ice. Will feed Ernsting into the zone. He's moving in with speed, and he tried to drag it to the backhand, but fanned on the putback attempt. And now with less than 2 minutes left to go, it's Caleb Pramek in the offensive zone. Deals with Sustero, who's pressing him up against the glass. And Pickens couldn't keep it in on the blue line. Minute 35 left in regulation. Gets rung up the far side glass. Now Santa Maria controls. Literally gave it right to Dominic Grigori, who took, I think, the sand wedge out of the golf bag that time and chipped it all the way down for an icing call. Purdue Northwest Pride in the most recent rankings that came out on the 13th of November were ranked 5th in the Central Division of ACHA Division II hockey. And the Flyers today have played really well, but JT Verdino in the offensive zone will get it off the end boards and score. For the first goal, the Pride have scored since the first period. Finally, the Pride are able to answer the offensive onslaught by the Lewis Flyers. That point shot from Anderson was easily soaked up by Sam Zagat. And with 62 seconds left, we'll see a face-off
the left wing side of the big man in white. Caden Ulmer out there to tank it against Alex Moon. Alex Moon had a goal in the third period yesterday against the Flyers, as this one gets cleared all the way down. Icing is waved. And in on the forecheck is Wolninski. Battling away with Bukal, who will fling it up to Benke in the neutral zone. He controls it in over the Flyers line, but his hip check off the puck by Dan Johnson, who just took a penalty. Johnson had a high hit in the near side corner, and the roughing call is made by the referee on the other side of the ice. And the Pride have had a couple opportunities on the power play all game long, but have not been able to convert. As I said, though, this is the last series for the Lewis Flyers before Thanksgiving and for the rest of this calendar year. Next games are being played after the Christmas break. The Pride have one more series this winter, but by and large, they're pretty much done as well. Their Division I team is playing over at Canlan this weekend as part of the ACHA Chicago Classic, which is the reason that the Flyers are playing a home away from home game today. There's 51 college games, ACHA Division I college games anyway, being played in Romeoville. And the net came off its moorings there, and looks like Josh David will be getting a late penalty. With only 4 seconds left, though, I think we could chalk this one up as over. And now it's a goal, an awarded goal. And a question from Jim Swoyer on the bench. And it looks like it'll be awarded to Alex Moon. But I'm not really sure what happened there. I think the net was pushed off. Moon shot it back, and as we've established on the broadcast already, if the shot is in process when the net comes off its moorings and goes across the goal line, it's ruled to be a good goal. And I wonder how you can make that call when there's a scramble in front like that and the net was off 2-3 seconds before the puck went in. But I mean, either way, the Flyers are still up by 4 goals. And it looks like Sam Zagat has just been tossed out of this hockey game. He was barking at the referee. And some drama here with 4 seconds left. Thomas Labno will come in for the final 3 seconds, and Sam Zagat is fired up in the corner to our right-hand side. He's still barking away at the referee. He's lucky he wasn't assessed a 10-minute misconduct penalty, which in college hockey the goalies have to serve the 10-minute misconduct, so he would have had to sit in the penalty box. And the Flyers will, after all that, win this hockey game. Final score of 8-4. And Thomas Labno going over to salute Sam Zagat in the corner. And a lot of action here in the last 10 seconds, but either way, the Flyers improved to 10-4 on the season so far and dethrone the Purdue Northwest Pride this afternoon in Joliet. Excellent performance from Scotty Ernsting, the guest on the Lewis Flyers Hockey Podcast this week. A 3-goal performance. Goals also from Logan Stumpf and 2 from Caleb Pramack. Brian Good also had one in there. And Ethan Rapaz had the one from his own zone. Either way, what a matchup this afternoon here in in Joliet rather. As the Flyers salute the fans here at Inwood Ice Center, I'd like to thank our crew today who have done a great job producing this hockey game. You'll see their names in a minute, but we really couldn't do it without them. A special shout out to my dad who was operating the wide shot to my right-hand side, as well as John Kilpatrick from Lewis University in the broadcast department, who was really kind of the driving force behind all this and is the guy in charge and allowing all of us to have some fun and broadcast some hockey. So again, I want to thank you for tuning into this broadcast of the Lewis University Television Network. My name is Logan Kapp. We will catch you all on the next one.